welcome back to UKSG Blue from Glasgow with our next run, which is going to be proasek bringing us a Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. This is with a cup bid war. So, proasek, how are you doing?
Yes, I am doing very well, thank you very much. Yes, hello ladies and gentlemen of the internet, welcome back to the channel. My name is proasek, and this is Mario Kart. Is it spicy to say the good one? Probably not. I am, of course, here to do a bid war, which is determined by the lovely people at home. I've been keeping close tabs on that while I was in that seat, but right now I have to ask our lovely host, where does the bid war sit?
Well, as I'm hitting the close the bid war button, I can tell you that bonus tracks have taken it at £63, over £60 towards the Retro Cup.
That is fascinating and fantastic because I've just spent the last 10 minutes practicing a track I'm not even going to be playing. Same as it ever was. Right, okay, a little bit of housekeeping before we get in then. Let me first select my character. I like Link or Rosalina. They are in the same weight class. A little bit of weight helps me really get drifts going. And my car selection, you'll notice it's not standard. You won't see this from a lot of runners. It is purely down to preference and a little bit of inertia. I use the Flame Runner as your olders and the Gold Glider because it's a flex. And, you know, it's outside drifting. It helps me do cornering in a very interesting way. This is, of course, 200cc, which means that you will be seeing me doing some things that don't seem fast, but do help me keep in control. So I will be missing tricks on certain ramps. I will be cancelling certain boosts. And I will be trying my best to keep in control of the vehicle. So let's see, 16 courses and in order. We use the hard CPU for this. Technically, I run 48 courses, but we've cut that down to make it a more interesting run and more concise. Normal items, no teams, everything looks good. And we are going to the DLC, starting off with the Yoshi circuit. Whenever you are ready, all thumbs up, okay. We will be going in 3, 2, 1, begin! Right, and by the way, while we're getting started, I do want to shout out anyone from my community because I've got the lemon. That's one for the knowing ones. Time for the most vanilla of Mario Kart facts. Did you know that this track is in the shape of a Yoshi? Look at him, he's right there on the right of the screen in the map. Wowee! More interesting, perhaps, is the fact that you will see me going wide on a lot of these drifts, and you will see me actually drift in what appears to be the wrong direction at times, particularly on this corner, because I'm actually using the swing out of the outside drift to better line up for the next corners. It's all about anticipating corners much further than you would in 150, and honestly, I really like 200 because it is so full on, it is so much more active than a lot of 150 categories in most Mario Kart games. Another thing I should mention is occasionally I am pressing the B button on my right Joy-Con in order to brake drift around certain corners, because we really do go so fast, and even a fully pulled drift, or whatever you want to call that, where I'm holding the direction as you would expect, sometimes that's not tight enough, so I need to lose a bit of speed just to manage my way around a corner. I should probably also mention that I am using 2 Joy-Cons, one in each hand. Uh-oh, blue shell, first of the run. No getting around that. Yes, I'm probably the only runner who actually uses this control setup, and it's legitimately just pure inertia. Because it's what I'm used to and what I've become comfortable with. So one thing as well that I should mention, there's a little bit there that will come up. So after any impact there are immunity frames, and that was after lightning. I managed to dodge a red shell because of it, which is convenient because my actual items I would have used for dodging were stolen for me. Swings and roundabouts. That is the end of this track, so I won't have the opportunity to say in situ what it is all about, but I can at least explain in retrospect what happened. You will have noticed me after the tunnel section hopping over out of bounds. That is something that comes up quite a few times, where I would normally need a mushroom to clear certain out of bounds sections and get shortcuts in that manner, but because it is 200cc, a good jump is all you need. And if you don't know, when you tap the drift button on this control scheme, it is in my right hand over here, that actually does mean you are immune from ground effects, so I can hop over that dirt there, for example, which was definitely an intentional demonstration, and I didn't just mess up my line, not at all. It would never happen. Shut up at the back there. But you can also miss boost panels, which is something that might and probably will come up later, and I'll tell you why when we get there. By the way, this is Excitebike Arena, which is a fantastic rendition of the original game for the NES. It has a completely randomized layout, or I believe there's a procedural generation for it. Hey. So the order of the ramps is not necessarily determined by the developers. It is all determined on the moment you load the track. And it seems like we've got quite a good layout. Damn, couldn't quite get through the items. If you didn't know, you can actually speed up the rate at which your item box gives you an item by spamming the use button on the left trigger for me. Ooh, we actually got the best item set, regular item, then Super Horn, whatever you want to call it. But very much like Ace King in poker, it looks pretty, usually doesn't do anything, but we'll see if it comes up. You know, I have hope, I'm optimistic. Yes, we've got quite a good layout of this Excitebike Arena. I have to say, the thing I'm mostly looking for is that I'm landing in good distance from the corners so that I can drift round them properly without having to brake drift, because that's sent me too far, or spend an inordinate amount of time just driving straight forward because I didn't go far enough. Let's see where we headed next. I've definitely remembered the track order. Dragon Driftway. This is quite a tough track. Lot of tight corners and a lot of anti-gravity, which can absolutely mess up my lines. I am also... Ooh, almost got knocked off there. There's a turbo cancel there, coming into effect for the first time. What was I going to say? Yes, I am taking it a little bit safe with the starting boost. You can... Oh, I really should have had an item out. Oh well. You can start holding the accelerator pretty much as soon as the 2 is static on screen. I am giving it an extra beat just to be safe, because I don't want to burn out and lose time that way. You could call it... That green shell came out of nowhere. Wow. Watched a road accident today. Yes, you could call it marathon safety. Generally, I do it anyway, just because I don't like burning out my engine and having to start in like 14th place. That was a problem right there that occasionally happens to me, where I will be holding a direction and start my drift, but because I'll be either airborne or just I've done something weird with how I've used the control stick, the drift will come out in the wrong direction and it will send me into a wall. That could be seen as a 200cc problem. I think it's just a me problem. It is, as the as Rebel would say, massive skill issue. I do run this game. I didn't ever pretend I was good at it. I tried there to do something a little bit tricky, which was bank a green shell off the wall to hit myself with it, because if you hit or get hit by a blue shell, you will take a long time to recover from the spin out. If you get hit by a regular item, be it a nana on the ground or a green shell in your hand or whatever, then you will get a relatively short spin out. And so I call that a half dodge, because you don't not get hit, but you get hit by something better than the blue shell, and you manage to shorten the amount of time you are out of the race for, which can be convenient. But we will also look for full dodges, either from mushrooms you can dodge with the Super Horn, of course, the item that's specifically introduced to do that, and lightning. Getting struck by lightning counts as a full dodge because there was nothing you could do to avoid it. Mute City! This is a track I've been doing a lot of practice on, and it's gone okay. And the reason for that is because I have recently learned a skip on this track, which is tricky. At the end of the lap, there is an out-of-bounds ramp that you are meant to use a mushroom for, but we are going so quick that we should be able to just hop. Ah, not quite. Okay, two more chances. We'll see. I have about a 50-50 chance of getting it, generally. It is a very difficult trick. In fact, I think a lot of IL times don't even go for it all 3 laps, but I like to, because why not? It's practice, marathon, showcase. I want to show things off. Come on. This is another... Oh, this is a track I alluded to earlier when I said I occasionally miss boost panels, because when I'm hopping into a drift, if it is lined up in a certain way, there we go. Nice. That was actually a really good execution of that trick. I am surprised. Thank you kindly, thank you kindly. See if we can get it 2 out of 3 at the least. But yes, when I start hopping for... Rude. When I start hopping for a drift on the first corner in particular, I will very often miss out on the boost panels just because I hop over it. And of course, when you're hopping in the air, you aren't grounded, you aren't affected by things on the ground. Here's the red shell coming in to explode my bomb. People say that's a new thing. Okay, I won't go for the trick because I lost all my speed. Oops. People think that it's a new thing in Mario Kart World to be able to defend yourself with a bomb. That is not the case. You can do it in Mario Kart 8. You just have to be going at speed. It is regularly possible in 200. I don't know what the conditions have to be in 150 in order to dodge things with a bomb. Maybe it's harder there. I don't actually know. I don't play 150cc, if I can help it at least. Online lobbies, terrible, honestly. So many people thinking, oh no, we can't play 200, it's too difficult. The only good category, come on! Let me go fast! I'm a speedrunner! Wario's Gold Mine. I loved this track back on Wii, man. It was so much fun back then, and the Ultra Shortcut is wild on Wii. If you haven't looked into that, please do so. It is such a bizarre trick. It involves jumping off the track onto some pipes that are just part of the scenery. Anyway, more about it here. We are going to be taking the back route because there is a boost panel over here. Very good. Jamming out to the music because it's fun. And missing a trick because it's difficult. Definitely not just I'm bad at games. Nope. Hey, yeah. How are you enjoying things over there on the host desk? Things good?
Yeah, things are going well over here, proasek. Looks like you're having fun on the track. And while I'm on here, I just want to remind people that we do have 2 bid incentives on the go at the minute. As previously mentioned, you can make our runners later do Stormy Ascent in the Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy, or you can upgrade the run from any percent to Corgi percent on Gestalt, Steam and Cinder. Back to you, Pro.
Thank you for taking the reins, I guess, on stream there, while I had a even more massive skill issue by drifting the wrong way off of the bridge. Generally not advisable. There's my top tip for any aspiring Mario Kart runners. Don't drive off of bridges. Yeah, items free. Hey. I used to be worse at this track, but since I've... Coin. It's always the coin, man. Always the coins. When you need an item, it just never appears. That's the kind of finishing I would have liked on all 3 laps, but at least I got it on 1. The least impactful one, but yeah, details. I believe that was our 3rd, so let's see where we are going next. I, again, do not remember the track order. It is... beans. It's Rainbow Road time, right. This isn't the most difficult one. The most difficult one in this game is Mario Kart 8 Rainbow Road, which thankfully I haven't had to do, you fools. This one is very much the intermediate, though. It's not N64 Rainbow Road, which is... Genuinely, I struggle to recognize it as Rainbow Road. It's so easy. This one, very much intermediate. The thwomps do cause me trouble, mostly because I try to trick off of the waves that they make, but it's very ambiguous where that is allowed. Like, I tried to trick there, and because the trick didn't happen, it started a drift, which means it threw off the angle of my vehicle, which meant I almost drove off the side. So yeah, you know, it's an intermediate difficulty one, but I'm less bad at things than I used to be, and therefore it should be fine. This shouldn't cause a problem for me. I'm trying to think. There is a track in this which I am quite bad at, in this set of 4 cups, which we'll come to later. And I did mention when I was hosting earlier that it is my least favorite track in the game. This set contains both my favorite and my least favorite. By the way, lapped someone right there. That's quite rare in this game. Usually the catch-up mechanics will help them to not be lapped, but I guess I'm just too good at this game. Definitely. Let's see. One thing I should mention about my vehicle combo, actually, that I didn't bring up earlier. When the booster course came out and was added to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, there were changes that were made to the balancing of all of the karts, and I believe my combo is actually slower than it used to be, or at least that is what my weeks of practice have taught me, because I've not been able to get within a couple of minutes of my actual PB, which was set before then. So, you know, probably the update that came with Boost Course has made it so that my combo is worse, and I should probably find a better combo. But I don't know, I can't be bothered to change. I'm too used to driving like this. I know how the vehicle is going to behave around corners, and that will come up more later for getting certain tricks and certain skips. Ice Ice Outpost does have shortcuts. I genuinely, even when I have a mushroom, I blocked the red. I didn't want to block the red because that would have given me a half dodge against this blue. That's my own fault. It's taken me back. Right. Give me just a nana. Okay, I will take that. I haven't actually checked who my rival is. It looks like Ludwig. That is... Yeah, I don't mind having Ludwig as my my rival. In Mario Kart, if you aren't aware, when the Grand Prix or set of versus races begins, one of the AI is determined to be your rival, and they will have a significantly more adept and capable AI than the average racer. And you will usually, most often, see them leading the pack apart from yourself, of course. Assuming, you know, you're good at games, which I obviously am. I've only come first so far, right? Yeah, that's definitely not blind luck. Nope. Not at all. Shut up back there. Where are we headed next? We are going to... Deluxe, yeah. Hyrule Circuit. Here we are, one of the crossover tracks that was added in the DLC course for Link. Which, yeah, I was actually asked earlier, why is Link in Mario Kart? Why wouldn't Link be in Mario Kart? He's a classic Mario character. He was in Super Mario RPG. He was in that. He's technically a Mario character. Yep, that's good enough for me. I'm going to try and hold on to this mushroom. I did a little bit of unintentional bagging at the start of the lap, so I got a better item, and I'm going to try and hold on to it until the start of lap 2. Looks like I'll get away with it unless lightning comes and makes me eat my words here in just a second. No, okay, because that is the best place to use it. When you are boosting from a mushroom, out of bounds does not affect you. You do not get the acceleration or speed penalties. So it's good to have a mushroom for those sections, but you can't always hold on to it. It was a bit of a calculated risk to do so. I'm also not going for the central ramp there. You've seen me skip it 2 laps in a row, and that is because it is a bit unreliable unless you hit... Oh, come on, the keys. Unless you get all 3 of the... I don't actually know what to call them, but the kind of boost bollards that you get in Zero Gravity. Or Anti-Gravity, rather. If you hit all 3 of those, you open up a boost ramp that passes by the Master Sword in the center of the castle. But unless you hit all 3 of them yourself, it's very unreliable to go for. But hey, you know, why not? We had the opportunity there. But usually I don't. I'm changing my routing here instead of going for there because we are lightninged and we are slow. We're actually... This plays very similarly... that... I was tempted. Oh god! I was tempted by... It's all gone peak, Tom! There we are. Nearly dropped a place. Not quite, not quite. Thank you very much. Only person to ever get applauded for being absolutely Mario Karted. But yes, when you are smaller as a result of lightning or other effects, then you are essentially at 150cc, so I do technically play a little bit of 150 whenever I am lightninged while playing 200. And I think that holds true in the lower category, so in 150 if you get hit by lightning, then that's equivalent to driving 100cc, 100 equal to 50, and 50 equal to... there isn't a category below that, so I assume you're just very, very slow. This is Baby Park, by the way. A very chaotic track. They only want to have 7 laps, and therefore I am really wanting to have an item held behind me all the time, because the amount of absolute, I can't say the word I want to, but you know what I mean, that this track can offer with 0 warning is very much to be warned against, to be managed for, to be accounted for, to take care regarding. I keep using the coins a bit early. Item tech, that's something I've not gone into yet. So I mentioned that you can spam the item button in order to... Sorry, I had to focus at the end there because I noticed that it was a very nearly perfect baby park. We only got hit once. That is rare, so like that. RNG has been kind to me this run, which is concerning. It means everything's about to fall apart. But yes, I mentioned that you can spam the item button in order to speed up the timer for collecting an item. Cheeseland, my least favorite track. I do not like cheese, let it be known. I love cheese. I've got so much cheese back home I can't wait to get to. But Cheeseland, not for me. The track is just... I'll go into that later. I'll finish my first point. Item mechanics. So, you will see me quite often holding onto a coin, and this is for two reasons. First of all, if a coin is in your first slot, then that is what will be taken by a boo if one appears, which will be much safer for you than losing your defense item to a boo. In fact, just then I decided to throw the red shell with no problem, just so I could cycle out the coin to the first slot and a defense item to second. And I was able to do that because if you have a coin in your inventory, you cannot get a second coin. So you can guarantee getting an actually useful defense item in the second slot. Anyway, that's my coherent and rational point made. Let me actually rant about Cheeseland for the remainder of this track. Cheeseland sucks. It is pockmarked by these random little divots here to make it look like Swiss cheese, a nice bit of Gruyere or something. And honestly, they are not placed well. They are completely in the way of optimal lines, so you have to go well out of your way. But they're not even all in optimal lines, because if it was, you could at least defend it as, well, they don't want you to have too easy of time going in the nice way. No, look, that's a suboptimal spot right there, taking a wide corner. No, that has also got a pockmark in it, just so it ruins people who are not great at the game. The other thing I want to rant out, that chain chomp there is a win more mechanic. It does not affect whoever is in first place, partial dodge by the way. It does not affect whoever is the first person to pass by the chain chomp. It only affects the people behind them. It is a solid win more mechanic. You are not affected in first. You're only affected if you're losing. It is bad game design. Cheeseland sucks. I will fight anyone who defends it. I will fight you. No, that's just, yeah, absolutely. That's a general. I will fight you. No. Anyone who defends Cheeseland, you're off. You're on my list. And now back to Peace and Tranquility. Where is this Wild Woods, which is the only track to start you off in anti-gravity that isn't completely anti-gravity. There's your fun fact for the track. It is relatively... Yeah, that worked. I wasn't concerned for a moment. It's got some shortcuts which are a little bit tricky to pull off consistently, like the one that we just had there. Once more cycling my items. And these moving boost panels, which are never exactly where you want them to be. Let's see, we've got coin, then super horn, so I'm good. I'm good if a blue shell comes to me, I'm okay if a red shell comes to me. Because while you can defend yourself with a super horn on the red shell, it's all about timing, and timing is not something I'm great at. And oh, would you look at that, I need to put my money where my mouth is. Ooh, that was a bit close. Come on, give me something good. That's a nana. Can I get a partial dodge? No, I can't because I missed it. Oh no, I know I've gone the out of bounds way. Somehow that worked. Sure, we'll take those. No, I'm not going to have an item in time. Nope, only a con. But it was 2 red shells anyway, so even if I did get a good item... Oh, jeez, I didn't expect to get hit with the mushrooms there. I'm actually quite far behind, so I need to lock in for a second. So if there's anything that the host would like to bring to the table, then please do be my guest. Host?
Sorry there, bro, we were just checking something. We do have one donation that's come in. This is £5 from Farinir, saying that tech issues are keeping things interesting today. All the love to the behind-the-scenes team. I think we can echo that.
Brilliant. I like lemons. Lemons are great. Yeah, I took a bite out of the lemon. Ah. Alright. Animal Crossing Village. This is a track where RNG actually affects the track itself and not just the player. There are 4 variations on this track, and unfortunately we got legitimately the worst one. There is winter, spring, summer, and autumn. Autumn is the best because there are leaf piles along the ground, which are... They can contain either a banana or a mushroom, and if it's a mushroom, then that means free speed boost, even in first. Winter here, we have additional obstacles at the end of the track. Spring is defined by having more jump ramps throughout. And then summer is very much, there's no downside, there's no upside, it's very much vanilla. Sorry, just finishing chewing that lemon. There's no... I don't believe winter has any fruit that drops from the trees either, because there's 2 ways of getting the fruit on this track. Either from a leaf pile during autumn. Oh no, they do drop from the trees. I just... I'm so good at lining... Oh, couldn't that have come 4 seconds later? Oh, earlier, rather. It's like my grandmother always said, lightning before blue, well, that's good for you. Blue before lightning, very, very frightening. My grandmother was a weird person. Mario Kart 8 didn't even come out by the time she said that. Dang the snowman. No, I'm not coming in second again. I refuse. I will annihilate that child. Oh my god, they actually came in third as a result. Oopsie. One thing I am curious about on that track, potentially, but more generally, actually, it is applicable. I wonder with dropped mushrooms if it is possible to get a blue shell dodge. I've never done it. I've never seen someone do it. If anyone has a clip of that happening, send it to me immediately, because I would love to see it. It sounds awesome. Alright, Cooper City, or Neo Bowser City, if you do prefer, i.e. if you're an NTSC. This is a difficult track. It is one of the absolute final bosses of getting good at 200cc as a category. We need to do a little bit of turbo cancelling, which I'm doing by releasing the accelerator before the drift button. Drift key. Playing too much PC games, clearly. My absolute greatest point of pride in my entire career of speedrunning this game is when I was in a online tournament for it that was hosted in the eastern coast of the US, so I had a lot of ping on 200cc on this track, and I still came in first. Because I just spent so much time learning the turbo cancels, learning the route. We're on 150, so I can actually get away with using the turbos, assuming I don't grow halfway through. No, that works. We'll take the free turbos and the speed boost. If we had a mushroom, the best place to use it on this track would be right at the end on that final corner where there's out of bounds. You can also use it here, but I would not. I'm throwing away the item there to get hit by the red shell for the partial dodge on the blue. I'm also keeping an eye out, by the way, every time I am struck... Anytime I am struck by lightning, I am keeping an eye out the following lap for any dropped mushrooms, because anyone who has triple mushrooms... Didn't quite get it in time. Okay, or wasn't fast enough. Either or. Didn't work. Anyone who has triple mushrooms and then rotating around their cart, that is struck by lightning. Those mushrooms don't disappear, they are dropped onto the track. Which means they are free to pick up on the following lap, and of course while you're in first you get first pick of the dropped mushrooms. But it is very much reaction based, you know, if you don't see it in time or if it's too far out of your way, there's nothing you can do. Here's Ribbon Road, the honorary Rainbow Road I like to call it, because it is very difficult and very much in line with the other Rainbow Road variations in base game. So I am not going to trick on this ramp, I'm actually going to start a drift early to get a better line. Not too bad. Going to take the coin actually, because we should be a bit too early to expect a boo to appear and steal items. Yes, that is what I want to say, I couldn't... looking too wide. So yeah, I want more coins in the first lap, so I'm happy to use the coin item to get to there. And I should actually mention that, coins. I've not mentioned them at all. They improve the performance of your engine, they increase your speed, and I believe your handling. I really should have looked that up for certain before the run, but oh well. Generally, I try to route in getting 8 coins by the end of the first lap. I did lose a few because I fell off the track. Okay, I'm not going to try and trick. I'm going to try not to trick. That is another thing about Ribbon Road that makes it difficult, because the track is always in flux, bouncing up and down. If you try to drift, or rather when you try to drift on the final bit of Ribbony Road, that can occasionally do an unintentional trick and you'll get a speed boost you weren't necessarily expecting, which can cause problems and throw you off the track. I was able to account for it there because it wasn't in too bad of a spot, but I am always keeping that in mind, or trying to at least, between all the running and the commentary and everything. It's a lot to take in, would you believe? But that was a relatively okay Ribbon Road. It wasn't that clean. I did fall off the track a couple of times, but, I've had worse. How are we doing on time? We're at 28. That means the end must be coming. I've genuinely lost track of how many tracks we've done. Fortunately, it does come up at the bottom on the next track, so we'll get a reference for how my pace is doing then. I think we're actually in the final 4, question mark? Super Bell Subway is the 15th race. Yeah, this is the penultimate track. Cool. We've got this one, and then my favorite track will be the final, which is something I was actually hoping for DLC in that regard. My route in Super Bell Subway is a little bit peculiar. I fall off of intentionally the catwalk, I guess you'd call it, on the first section of catwalk. I don't go for the second at all. I just drift on the terrain underneath, and then I go for the catwalk with the glider ramp. I don't take a trick on the final ramp because I would much rather start the drift earlier for a better lineup. So here we go. The trains are in a convenient enough place that I can go on top. That's fine. That's fine. We've got a blue coming and nothing to defend myself with. I could have tried to dump. Oh, Nana, yes! Got it with a partial dodge. Cool. The only person you'll ever hear cheering to be hit by a banana. Or actively even finding a banana to hit. One more lap of this. Fall off the catwalk. Get the purple, whatever you call them, turbo sparks. Sure. There are, if you do not play this game, there are 3 tiers of sparks that appear when you are drifting, determined by how long you've been drifting and how harshly you've been drifting. So I'll build them quickly on that turn because I was holding in the same direction. If I was holding in the opposite direction to get a wider turn radius, then I would have built them slower. Anyway, 3 tiers from blue to orange to purple. The higher the tier, the better the boost you get when you finish. Here we are, final track. Keep your eyes on the prize. This is Big Blue from F-Zero. And it is a point-to-point race, which I absolutely love. They are my favorite tracks in this game. How things could have been as we think of the point-to-point tracks in the successor. Oh, hey, I definitely messed up my routing there. Didn't have an item out either. So we are going to start a bit further back. Yes, what am I trying to say? Yes, this is a point-to-point track, which means there aren't laps, there are legs or segments. Give me good items. Ugh, mushroom is fine, I guess. Not going to trick that. I want to take left here. There is a skip you can do. You can do. Technically that was it, but it was kind of poor. You want to get a turbo boost off there rather than just falling off, but, it still worked. I'm going to use the mushroom quickly so that I can re-roll my items. I am actually going to throw this bomb back the next time there's an item box, which is just up here. So that I have a coin in front and a item in back, which is a normal item, the green shell. That is good. There is another skip right here, which is very nice. Nice little shortcut. And this is time coming up here as soon as we cross the finish line. 3, 2, 1, that's it. Thank you very much. Yes, that indeed was the run of all the DLC tracks. We will review the results while we do the outro. Mario Kart, it's a very good game. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is a very good game. I need to be specific. Mario Kart 8 is a very good game. Other Mario Karts may vary. But yes, if you wish to see more from me, you can always come by on Twitch. You can find me at twitch.tv/proasek. I am live every Wednesday and Thursday. Wednesday with something variety, Thursday with some Skyrim usually at the moment. You can also find me on YouTube at proaseksr for my main channel, which is variety content and speedrunning stuff. You can also find my voice acting channel, proasekva, and proasek VODs for any catch-up. With that, I believe I will throw it over to the hosts. I'm going over there to play Sonic Racing Cross Worlds.
Thank you, Proasek, there for that run. Great to see these DLC tracks that I haven't had a chance to play myself. The next run we have coming up will be Manic Miner, and that's Tiny Tim looking after that, though I believe this may be a race of some form, so we'll see what happens when that comes out. And yes, we will now be on a short intermission while Tech gets everything set up for that, and we will be right back.